Sponsored by Prince Pro. I hope you've enjoyed all of our recent episodes, and tonight I'm delighted to be joined by the Mayor of Shifnal, Roger Cox. Good evening, Roger.
Good evening, everyone.
Roger, give us a bit of an insight into your life so far before you became a mayor.
No problem. I was brought up in Wolverhampton, supporting Wolves, obviously. I started my working life in the construction industry and still work in construction. I got married when I was about 23, bought my first house near Aldsley Stadium. I was fortunate to have two great sons, Tom and Nick. They're obviously grown up now, 30 and 25. Since then I've moved to Compton, lived in Tetnall. Unfortunately got divorced and had to move on from that. And since then I've moved to Shifnal probably 8 or 9 years ago through love, really.
Yeah.
Joe, my partner, is a Shifnal person and lived in Shifnal all her life, and she's back in Shifnal now.
Yeah.
So we bought our first house, a new house in Spring Hill, and we've recently moved. I'll say recently, about 3 or 4 years ago, we moved to the other Redrow estate on Wadlow Drive.
That's interesting because I'm not actually a Shifnal man myself. I came to Shifnal about 10 years ago, it's probably just a little bit longer, so very similar stories. And how did the opportunity of being the Mayor of Shifnal come about, Roger? How did that happen?
Well, I think I was pushed by Joe, to be fair. The fact that I was sort of moaning about this, moaning about that in the town. You see, he said, well, if you moan about it, try and do something about
Absolutely.
it. So, okay, so I joined the town council. I was co-opted onto the council,
Yeah.
which means that there's a vacancy.
Yeah.
You go down to the monthly meeting, say a few words of wisdom, and then the council vote you on or vote you off. Fortunately, I was voted on as a co-opted councillor. We're going back probably 2018 then. I've been on the council ever since.
Your predecessor, was that person in their post for a long time?
If we're talking about the mayor, the previous mayor, Paul, he did the role for 12 months.
Right.
But when he set out, he said, I'm 12 months and I'm out of here.
Right.
Prior to Paul, we had Rob Harrop, who was in the post for 6 or 7 years. I got elected in 2022 and just re-elected May in 2023. So my objective is to do another 12 months and see where we go from there.
Excellent, and I'm assuming you're enjoying the role so far?
Yes, to be fair, when I was elected, it was a case of Paul says, I'm handing over the baton. The room went quiet, just like a library. And then one of my fellow councillors proposed myself, which was soon seconded, and I think the majority were in favour. So, you know, I was quite happy to take the role, privileged to take the role. I've enjoyed the role. There has been some bumps in the road, don't get me wrong. But you know, it's a voluntary role. You don't have any money for it, and the other councillors, the 15 councillors, also voluntary. But we all try and do our best for the town. We don't please everybody. We accept that, but yeah, we enjoy it.
And you touched upon it slightly in terms of, you know, your partner saying to you, oh, instead of moaning and grumbling about things, do something proactive about it. What would you say is your main aim as Mayor of Shifnal? What are you looking to, you know, achieve for Shifnal?
Well, my main aim for Shifnal is to bring the community together, try and improve the town, make it a better place to live. We've had, as we all know, a number of new developments in the town.
Yeah.
Probably new people come to Shifnal,
Yeah.
not Shifnal people. We need to try and break those barriers down, get people involved, shop local, support the local community groups, because Shifnal is a great place to live.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm not sure if you found it the same when you first moved to Shifnal, but when I first moved to Shifnal, there was a little bit of, you know, animosity towards, you know, the new people coming to the town and the fact that what was originally such a small town was evolving. But I think, you know, like you alluded there, it is getting a lot more of a together feel now, isn't it? And, you know, people are supporting one another, looking after one another, and I think especially after the COVID pandemic as well, that really did bring Shifnal together, didn't it?
Absolutely. When the COVID kicked in, there's a number of community groups who shone like a beacon and
Yeah.
helped people out, you know, doing simple things like collecting prescriptions or providing food hampers and stuff like this. And this has evolved since COVID. And as a community, there's a number of groups, the church, there's Bright Star Boxing, the football club, you know, Centre State, to name but a few, MHA, to name but a few, who all provide a valuable service to the various people within the community, which I think is vitally important.
And it could be coincidence, but I do genuinely feel that COVID did have a big impact, didn't it, on bringing everybody together? Because, like you said, there were so many acts of kindness. Like, for example, the butchers started delivering to people, and it just changed Shifnal as a whole, didn't it? And it's just brought so much positivity to the town.
I think COVID changed the whole country. We hadn't had a pandemic before. Yeah, people criticised the way it was handled, but the local community pulled together, as you say, pulled out all the stops and provided the community spirit was fantastic.
So if there's anybody, you know, who's got similar views to yourself and is looking to be having a more proactive part in Shifnal, are there any vacancies within the council at the minute or upcoming potentially?
Currently, the town council is made up of 15 councillors in 3 wards in the town. We had a vacancy recently, which has now been filled.
Yeah.
So there's no vacancy as we speak. But if people are interested, you know, keep their eyes peeled, look at our website for vacancies, and if they are interested, if the chance comes along, you know, I would suggest put your hat in the ring and see what it takes you.
And in terms of the members of the council, is it quite a diverse range of people of different ages, etc.?
The council's made up of there's probably 4 or 5 people who still work, and then there's 10 who have retired.
Yeah.
But they've all got decent backgrounds, and they can all contribute to various aspects of how the council's run.
But ultimately, if you've got a passion for Shifnal and you want to see the town progress, you know, you're somebody who's potentially going to do a great job, aren't you?
Well, absolutely, and you know, we encourage participation. Come to our council meetings. It's a public meeting. If you've got a concern, please come and raise it. We might not have all the answers, but we can certainly take away your comments and try and get an answer for you.
And in recent times, you've really started to forge a bit of a link between the council and our football club. Would you like to expand on that?
Well, I'm a football fan, Wolves, as I said earlier. Some might disagree, but in my youth, you know, I played for Bilbrook Juniors. I ran the team for my eldest son, Purton and Cotsall. I played for Wolves a couple of times, not too many to be fair. I wasn't good enough. And then I suddenly changed to be a referee. So I was a referee from 28 years old to about 40, and I had some really great times refereeing. Had a fair bit of abuse.
Of course.
And I think possibly being the mayor of Shifnal, the broad shoulders refereeing probably helps a little bit.
Absolutely, stood you in good stead for the complaints and the animosity referees sometimes get.
I'd like to think it's constructive comment rather than complaints.
In terms of the football club in Shifnal, where do you see that progressing, and how Shifnal Town Football Club can, you know, have a really positive effect on the community?
Well, speaking to the people involved with Shifnal, you know, it's amazing how many teams you have, how many people involved, and I think it's absolutely fantastic for the town. You're looking to progress, you want to progress, you want to move through the leagues again, which is great, and the town should be out and about supporting you. And I think I spoke to Mick about at least getting one of your early games well publicised in the town, and make sure that stand on the far side is full of local people supporting Shifnal. And now you've got a new manager who hopefully will hit the ground running, new players, and you'll be pushing for promotion.
Fantastic, and fingers crossed, can we count on your support for the upcoming season, that you'll try and get down to a few home games? Absolutely.
You know, football, sort of the grassroots football to me is superb. Last season I went to 2 live games. One was Villa against Wolves, which was okay, and then I went to watch Shrewsbury against Charlton, which again was an experience. I was in the away end, and I was with all those sort of Charlton fans who educated me on various languages, which was fine. But I did quite enjoy that, and I think if you can support your local team, I think, you know, Shifnal are quite keen to have local players as well, which I think helps, rather than dragging people from all over the country. So a bit of grow your own, I'm quite in favour of that.
Roger, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you're a busy man, and we're really looking forward to seeing you at the Acoustiphone this season.
No problem, thank you very much.